What's going on, everybody? I'm Jacob Cavazuto with Cab Training, and today we're going to talk about something a little bit out of the realm of this channel, but I think it's important because as a coach, a motivator, and a trainer, I think it's very important to kind of engross myself in topics that relate to training and coaching a young athlete. And so we're going to be talking about the Trent Dilfer incident that happened a couple nights ago. And really, this video, I'm going to just try to dive into the facts that surround the incident and try to eliminate as many uneducated opinions related to this matter as possible. So usually, if you guys are new to this channel, I usually dive into some strength training tips, speed and agility drills, and football position-specific drills. And if those type of videos interest you, I would love to have you guys subscribe. I'm on the road to 1,000 subscribers. So if you guys want to help out a growing YouTube channel on the platform, I would greatly appreciate it. But let's dive right into this case right now. And as I always like to say, let's get better today. So like I said before, I've been a coach, I'm a trainer, I'm a motivator, and I seek to inspire kids on a daily basis to play football and act on their dreams to become top-level football players in their lives. When I saw the Trent Dilfer video initially, I was kind of taken aback. I was like, dang, if I was pushed around by a coach like this, I may not ever want to play the game of football again. And so I dove into the Twitter sphere of comments and craziness, and it got political for some reason, and opinions were shared that maybe are a little outdated. And then maybe there's some opinions on the other side that are just a little bit too extreme or a little bit too patty cake for me. But I'm going to try and dive into the facts of this, and we're going to get to the bottom of this, and I'm going to share with you guys my true opinion based on how much I've read and how much I've thought about this situation. So first and foremost, I will show you guys the TikTok, the 7-second clip of this video that has gone viral, and we're going to see what it's all about. So here's that video right now.
Trent Dilfer doesn't like when his players talk back.
So like I said, initially I was like, oh my gosh, how did he put his hands on him like that? How could he do that? How could he yell at him like that? But then quickly, a couple minutes later, I'm thinking, okay, so what's the context about this? Like maybe Trent Dilfer was breaking up a fight. Maybe there's something that we don't know, obviously, from outside the 10 seconds shown in this video. And sure enough, there is some information that has come out a couple days later that kind of explains the situation as best as we probably will get it explained to us. So the latest article I read on this situation is from possibly the most trusted news source you can go after, and that's TMZ. Still, I believe this is a reputable source because Trent Dilfer himself is talking in this article and explaining his case and, as the article says, apologizing for the situation. In the article, Dilfer says that he was de-escalating an emotional situation that his player was having. Turns out that player is a guy by the name of Bo Dawson, who is the son of former kicker in the NFL, Phil Dawson. That kind of adds a little bit more context because Phil Dawson appears to be a good friend of Trent Dilfer's, and Bo Dawson has probably been coached by Trent Dilfer for multiple years at this point. So that means there's a relationship between Bo Dawson and Trent Dilfer, and it seems like there is some understanding there. Dilfer also goes on to talk about how Bo is a model student athlete at the school, and so he acknowledges the fact that maybe his emotions got a little bit too high in that situation. Let's take a quick step back and just focus on how he said de-escalating an emotional situation. That is very general, and maybe it was a fight, maybe it was an argument between him and Bo Dawson. We don't really know. So it's tough to make assumptions based on that general explanation as well as the context of a 10-second video. Additionally, in the article, Dilfer said that he was attempting to make his team play with a little bit more discipline, and he unfairly singled Bo Dawson out. Again, this is another general explanation from Trent Dilfer, and it kind of gives us a lot of room for more speculation whether or not it was a necessary way of disciplining his young athlete or an unnecessary way. But the bottom line is he does accept fault, accepts the fact that it was viewed in a very negative light, and he has apologized for it. Okay, so rundown. He commits the bad incident, he apologizes. Now what? Now comes the part of the video where I'm going to try my hardest to avoid any kind of generalizations and uneducated opinions on this matter. We have people saying that America has gone soft and there needs to be more coaches like this. And then we have the side that says this is absolutely out of line. Anytime you put your hands on someone like this or get in someone's face like this, this is assault. And if you're looking for me to tilt to either side in this video, I'm sorry to disappoint you. We live in a world where the phrase, "it depends," is not an acceptable answer. The truth is, in every situation and in every context, there is a spectrum of emotion, activity, and decision making. Who knows where this Trent Dilfer incident falls on that spectrum? And I think maybe that spectrum is a little bit different for everybody else and everybody else's taste. But I'm talking about society as a whole's spectrum. And I believe society as a whole is kind of evolving into a little bit more of an understanding spectrum where violence and intensity is kind of treated a little bit less positively. Is that a bad thing? Is that a good thing? I'll let you guys decide. But it's hard to change how society is evolving nowadays. And 10, 20, 30 years ago, something like this with Trent Dilfer would probably be water under the bridge and not even talked about. But nowadays, with a little bit more sensitivity in our society, this is coming to the forefront, especially with the viral means of video spreading and sharing. But let's get back on this kind of spectrum that I was talking about. We need more context to decide if Trent Dilfer's actions here were acceptable. There are so many more cases where coaches have been more despicable and more ridiculous with their actions and speaking.
This, or at least seen the video on social media. A South Georgia youth football coach is fired after he's recorded punching a child twice in the head.
This is tough to watch. It happened earlier this week during a game in Florida. One of the blows was so powerful it knocked the young.
But I do know that there is a better way to coach people and coax people into doing the right thing and to abiding by your rules and coaching.
This is the deal. One, you're getting back in transition. You don't have Giannis find a man and be a guard. Two, look at me. You set a high level for yourself. That's why you're down. That's great. Now go reach that level, okay? And you can reach it with force. Doesn't have to be stats all the time. Go dominate the game with force.
So here comes the part of the video where I'm gonna try and inject my 2 cents into how to coach young athletes, how to motivate and inspire them, how to lead better. When I am coaching and training young athletes, when they're being iffy and somewhat disrespectful, I just send them and run. I make them hold a plank. I just make them do something physically challenging, and that usually works. And that usually makes them flip the switch and say, okay, it's time to work. I feel like the older part of society right now that's saying, you know what, there needs to be more corporal punishment and more hard discipline when it comes to kids in order to make them act right. I'm gonna say that motivating someone through pain can be handled differently. It could be the pain and the strain of holding an exercise, holding a squat hold, holding a plank hold. That is some pain. And that is something that a kid is going to respond to and say, hey, I don't want to do that again. So let me actually do the work that our coach is telling us to do so we don't have to do that plank hold again. And I feel like that sort of pain is a good pain that is going to substitute someone taking a paddle to the rear or a belt to the rear or anything like that. So in summary, I just want to say that I am not crapping on Trent Dilfer at all in this video. All indications outside of the context of that 10-second video is that he's a really solid coach and a good leader, and he takes responsibility for what he does. Maybe there's context outside of this that proves otherwise, but with the context that we all have, he seems like a good coach and a pretty solid man. Besides that, I also want to say that as a society, we seem to be shifting. Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? I don't know. But I will say that there are good ways to coach young athletes that don't involve intimidation and violence. And I know football is a violent sport, and I know it's an emotional sport, and we can apply emotions and harness emotions and intensity in the right way to make our athletes better and not shells of themselves. And that's what I'm going to leave you with. If you guys liked this video, found my facts and hopefully educated opinions very valuable, make sure you guys subscribe to Cab Training. And if you like videos like this where I break down an incident or something that went viral, let me know. But also I have much more content related to fitness, athletic ability, and football skills related content as well. So make sure you subscribe and help me on that road to 1,000. Like this video if you guys liked this video. And as I always like to say, let's get better today.